Hey guys, today we're going to talk about Princess Luna and why I think she's the best pony. I will have a friend help me out with some of this conversation, so we'll talk to her in a little bit. I'm just going to cover some of the basics about her and then why I like her, and then we'll get more into it later. If you hadn't noticed, my picture is me as a nightmare moon type recolor. It's basically my OC made into a Princess Luna human picture. So awesomeness on that. Um, so many people on the fandom have done a Luna video of some sort and why she's been in out of certain episodes, especially this last season. But I'm just going to cover a few of the basics. Princess Luna was formerly known as Nightmare Moon, or the Mare in the Moon. She's an alicorn pony, which is a unicorn, earth pony, and Pegasus into one, which makes her a princess. She is the younger sister of Celestia. She was one of the main villains the first two episodes of the series. At the end of the Elements of Harmony, she is restored back to her former self, and she's returned to help Celestia with ruling Equestria. She's had two forms. Her weaker form, which isn't the favorite of most people. I mean, I like it because it makes her feel like she's growing up still. She's got the normal mane, the normal hair, but she's still like Princess Luna. And then you got her restored form, which we've seen a lot of. So she's got all her waving hair and mane, and everything's like dark blue, like night. Because in her weaker form, she was lighter, not as dark, not as mysterious. But as the show goes on, she kind of restores herself back to her original form. She is an alicorn, like I have mentioned. In Equestria Girls, she was a human. She is a female. She's actually lived in two places in Equestria. She's lived in the Canterlot Castle, and she's also lived in the Castle of the Two Sisters, which we haven't heard a lot of the past 3 seasons, but this last season, season 4, we've heard a lot more about it because they were fixing it up. So everyone figured, well, okay, it's going to be Twilight's new home since now she's a princess. But that wasn't the case. She's the co-ruler of Equestria. Luna's been one of those ponies that everyone wants more episodes of. I know I've been one of those people who are like, give Luna more episodes to herself. Like, she needs more than just season 1 opening villain. She definitely needs more backstory than just a flashback, like we got in Princess Twilight. She's been the ruler, more into that later. Nightmare Night is a version of Halloween. that they have, which I thought was kind of cool. I liked that episode. And then as the show goes on, we got Luna Eclipse, which basically was a CMC, the Cutie Mark Crusaders episode, but I count it as a Luna episode because Luna helped Scootaloo through her problems, which I thought was kind of cool. She was also, like, at the last second in Canterlot Wedding, in, like, the first 15, I guess, of Canterlot Wedding. And so that was very interesting, how she showed up at last minute saying, "Have I missed anything?" I think Anthony C. covers a lot of that with Tommy Oliver over why that episode for Luna is a situation. She was in Mystery Cure, Magical Mystery Cure. She didn't say much, as though the writers didn't have anything for her to say, but she was there. Princess Twilight Sparkle, she was in that one. She didn't show up that often. She's had like maybe 1 or 2 lines, if that, in that one. So we'll get more in depth in these episodes later. Twilight's Kingdom she was in. She was in Equestria Girls. She's going to be in this new Equestria Girls movie that's coming out. Lord only knows how that's going to turn out. She's been in a few MLB comics. I've seen one of them. It looks pretty good. She's on the mobile device game that I've played. I hope to do a thing on that later. She's on the cover tag of the Element of Harmony guidebook, but she's also in the book as Nightmare Moon and as Luna. And then this new book that came out for season 4, The Journal of the Two Sisters, is something that Luna's in. Luna, people have been wanting more of. I know most of the Luna fans have been wanting more of her. The word Luna, if you hadn't already guessed it, means moon. So she has the power to raise and lower the moon. It's Italian and Spanish, and a little Latin, I do believe. There's a lot of information on Luna if you look her up, but I'm just covering a few things. So it sounds like it'd be an awesome thing to do. That's why I'm doing a video on her. So she also has a Latin name, which means moon also. Luna is, according to this wiki, Luna is the Latin name of the Greek moon goddess, Selena, which I've been told is the name for her originally, but Hasbro said that wouldn't work, I guess. So they changed it to Luna to make it easier for kids to understand. Oh, she raises and lowers the moon, which I thought was kind of cool. And then they get into this whole Greek myth area with that, if that was her name. In the European French dub, Nightmare Moon has a very long name, and I'm not going to pronounce it, which means the Mare of Selena, or the Selena Mare. So yeah, thank goodness I don't live in France. I would never, ever get that. Her title in the Twilight Sparkle book, part 1, Mirror in the Moon, actually refers to the man in the moon. Like, that makes any sense to me. I mean, yeah, I guess there's a man on the moon. Man's been on the moon several times. So why would you want to prefer Mare to the Moon to the story of the man in the moon? It makes no sense to me. According to Lauren Faust, Nightmare Moon was originally named Discord, a name which would later be given to another villain. So Lauren Faust, you've confused me. So Nightmare Moon was originally going to be named Discord? What? I mean, yeah, I'm glad that they saved it for later, but that wouldn't make any sense. Would she be like Discorded Luna? Because if she was going to be Discorded Luna, then I guess that'd be fine, but I like Nightmare Moon better. It makes more sense. A lot of the information I gathered before I did this video helps me realize why I liked Luna so much. Because when I was smaller, and I didn't like My Little Pony when I was smaller, so what I did was I watched Sailor Moon, or anything dealing with the moon. Because, let's face it, the moon doesn't get enough respect. So it kind of makes sense why Luna would go all haywire and say, well, there's only supposed to be one princess, and that princess will be me. Because the moon doesn't get respect. Everyone's asleep when the moon's out. Unless it's like Halloween. And if we're asleep, I don't know that many people who are out at night. I mean, yeah, I get it. Nighttime's when you sleep, but the moon needs more respect than that. So I kind of get where Luna came from. I'm trying to figure out why I connect with Luna. So, I mean, Luna's awesome. She definitely helps me out with a lot of situations. She's been there for Scootaloo, and now she's been there for Sweetie Belle. So, yeah, I mean, it's awesomeness that I can connect with a pony, and it's not even a pony that shows up that often. It's kind of like you have that special feeling, connection with them. I mean, yeah, she raises the moon and lowers it. How awesome would that be? I also can kind of connect to Luna as her name kind of is like Greek mythology, and I'm really into that stuff. I'll do a video on that some other time. But there's a lot of people between Sweet Elite and Luna Eclipsed and this for whom the Sweetie Belle tolls that she's been in, and they were just focused on her and her alone. And as one of my friends told me today, she's been in there are like 3 episodes, but I think there's more, because Luna pops in and out. She doesn't have many roles, but she does have lots of character build-up, and she's a very popular character with some of the fandom. Um, I guess you could call me a brony, but I prefer not to be called a brony. And I have nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with the word. But I know that some of the things that I do are brony related, but it's not really brony related. And people need to stop dealing with me on Skype. See, this is why I like Luna. Luna plays video games when she's not on screen, supposedly. When I'm trying to do videos, people on Skype are driving me nuts. And the only person on Skype I'm waiting for is my friend Draco the Dragon. So yeah. So, I mean, I personally like Luna. I mean, she's awesome. I try to find episodes with just Luna. I mean, a Luna-based episode. And it's hard because, well, Hasbro and the Hub haven't made one yet. I think a lot of people who are Luna fans do a lot of Luna, like, fan fictions, like Gamer Luna or Muna. I haven't looked at many Muna things, but I know Gamer Luna from Molestia is funny, and I enjoy her. And the first time we heard about Luna, the only thing that we knew was the younger Alicorn princess. And then later, they gave her a name. So, later, Luna gets her name. And all we know is that there's this younger Alicorn princess who doesn't even have a name, and she's blue. Awesome, Hasbro. Way to build up her story. The narrator at the beginning of this, Sweet Celestia. Why would you do that? Narrator in the beginning of a story, and there's not a narrator the rest of the time, because it's mostly Celestia telling you the story in the beginning. It's like she's telling it to Twilight, and we don't know who she's telling it to. Because, I mean, it could be Celestia telling it to somebody. We don't know. I mean, it's never come back to it. I mean, yeah, I like the whole back in whenever story arc, but it's interesting. And a narrator starts off with this whole story arc thing like it's no big deal. She's like, two regal sisters who ruled together and created harmony for all the land. The eldest used her unicorn power to raise the sun at dawn. The younger brought out the moon to begin the night. I'm sorry, but that makes little to no sense to someone who's just starting out. I mean, yeah, later it makes more sense. I mean, yeah, Luna raises the moon to begin the night. Awesome. And then Celestia takes down the sun as Luna brings up the moon. That's what it's featured like in the show. I mean, she raises the sun, and then she starts raising the sun, and then Luna brings down the moon, and then Luna goes wherever Celestia knows where. Okay. The narrator continues talking about how the ponies play in the day, but shun the night. They don't shun the night. When the night comes out, it's dark. I think pony parents and our parents in the real world kind of frown on people being up that late. They don't shun the night. The night's when you take, like, a nap. A very long nap till day, but it's a nap. And the night, and then it's like, and sleeps through it. Well, yeah. It's kind of a thing. They shun the night because they're tired. But they're not shunning it. Kind of a harsh word to put in a kid's show, don't you think? Which makes the younger Alicorn, Princess Luna, grow bitter. Okay, bitter. Bitter to me makes no sense in that context. She was jealous, yeah, because her sister got all the glory. But she wasn't bitter. And then eventually she refused to lower the moon to make way for the dawn. Okay. So she refused to do something, and that transformed her into a wicked mare of darkness, also known as Nightmare Moon. Well, right there, Nightmare Moon tells you that her name's gonna deal with the moon in some way or form. The eldest sister used the power of the elements of harmony and banished her permanently in the moon. Okay, so Celestia gets the elements of harmony, which cannot work, by her own words, cannot work without the power of friendship. What? The rest of the show, the only 6 people who've been able to use this are the main 6. And Celestia, by herself, her only friend apparently being Luna, banishes her only friend to the moon because she refused to lower the moon. Okay, so my favorite character is banished to the moon for a reason, forever reason, just because she tried to make a point to her sister. Wow. Celestia, you are such a troll. As she banished her permanently to the moon. Banished her permanently to the moon. Yeah, how'd that work out for you there, Celestia? Wasn't very permanent. Maybe 100 years, but yeah. It didn't work. Permanently to the moon. Yeah, and then Twilight comes and tells you that her sisters come back. Permanently banished. Alright. And takes both responsibility of the sun and the moon, maintaining harmony in Equestria. Isn't that a lot on your plate? I mean, you should at least try to, like, have talked to Luna and asked her what the heck of whatever was wrong. That's just my feeling about it. At least talk to your sister about it. Um, and then they use the word mare, as in female horse. So she is a female horse, and she is a night pony. So you take the two words together and you make nightmare. And you put moon at the end of it because her name is Luna. Okay. Um, Whatever. You blow my mind. Here, I'm gonna turn on my camera because you need to see my expression. It blows my mind. It seriously blows my mind. What in Equestria made this possible? Celestia is only allowed to raise the sun up. And then she has to bring on the moon because she banished her sister? Great thought process here. So she maintains harmony in Equestria by herself. It wasn't until after her sister broke out that she needed someone. Because in her own words, she said, only the elements of harmony can do so. So, how have you been keeping harmony here? This is why I think Luna's, like, best pony, because she kind of makes it balanced out here. I mean, wouldn't you think that Luna had helped with harmony? Because later in the series, she freaking helps out more than we thought. I mean, she helped banish Sombra to the icy north. She turned Discord to stone after they found the elements. And then, who knows how long, she's banished to the moon herself. Nothing like a thank you for helping me destroy evil. Now you're evil. We're going to banish you to the moon. Here's your plane ticket. And then she comes back and she's healed by the elements that sent her to the moon. Great thought process. If the elements could heal her, why didn't she heal her 1,000 years ago instead of just banishing her to the moon? Or did Luna not know that? Luna wasn't healable yet. I start to wonder about Celestia's thought process. So, 1,000 years pass, and Sakura, this zebra, in this world of ponies, Sakura comes and says a verse of Nightmare Moon. So it's Nightmare Night, which makes so much sense. Makes so much sense. Nightmare Night, Nightmare Moon, Princess Luna. I get that she's the princess of the night, Hasbro, but seriously. So, during Nightmare Night, Zecora tells the verse of Nightmare Moon, explaining why this holiday exists. So, it goes something like this. Every year we put on a disguise to save ourselves from her searching eyes. But Nightmare Moon just wants only one thing, to gobble up ponies in one quick swing. Hungrily she soars the skies. She sees no pony she passes by. So if she comes and all is clear, Arquetchi is safe for another year. Fill up her belly with treats or two, so she won't return to come and eat you. Nothing like tormenting a little kid. That's almost as bad as a reference to something in the Bible. Wait a minute. I think this kind of reminds me of a verse from the Bible. I think it's like Genesis or whatever. Yeah, I haven't read the Bible in a while. That kind of reminds me of part of the story of Moses. That kind of reminds me of that. Well, think about it. Every year we put on a disguise to save ourselves from her seeking eyes. Seeking eyes, put on a disguise. It's basically telling the kids this saves you from being eaten. Well, in the Moses story, if I remember right, you had to put lamb's blood above the doorway, and that saved the firstborn kid from getting eaten or killed. So, by Nightmare Moon just wants only one thing. The Holy Spirit only wanted one thing. It killed half the firstborn kid in Egypt. This one, to gobble up ponies in one quick swift. Hungrily she soars through the skies. Well, so did the Holy Spirit. So you gotta kind of have some Bible verse type thing going on there. So, yeah. I mean, if no one else caught that, I bet you, if you ask another analyst, did you know that this refers to something in the Bible? They wouldn't catch it unless, like, the 14th view of the episode. So, yeah, I mean, that was sneaky. Gee, Hasbro, thanks for being a little sneaky there. So, after she is reformed, Luna is back to herself, but she's in a weakened form for being Nightmare Moon so long. So she's light blue hair, kind of cute looking, kind of innocent, and Celestia is feeling like 100 times of bad for banishing her sister. And Celestia asks her if she wants to be her friend, and Luna accepts. Okay, sorry, my mind just got blown. If Luna was already your friend, and you had 100 years with no friends, how the heck were you saving Equestria? Because The elements of harmony can only be used by friendship. That is your own word, Celestia. Only friends can, the power of friendship, use the elements of harmony. So, how the heck were you using them without Luna there? Luna was basically your only friend, unless you had some other friend, like, hidden away somewhere. I don't even want to know if she does. Um, so, yeah. I mean, Luna has been, like, a helpful mentor ever since then. I mean, she's kind and she's very wise. I mean, wouldn't you be after being stuck on the moon 1,000 years? I mean, she's been a mentor to Scootaloo. She's been a mentor this season to Sweetie Belle. Who's next on Luna's list? Apple Bloom? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. So, people are like not upset that Luna hasn't been like only a mentor to Twilight like Celestia has and Cadence, but Luna's like a rare appearance guest. Like, you know those old TV shows where they used to have special guests every once in a while? That's what Luna's become, in my opinion. And I think that's kind of cool. Because Luna is like the one princess that shows up. Not because she just raises the moon. No. It's because she protects your dreams. And she makes sure that you are safe. And besides, Luna's awesome. I mean, who wouldn't want to raise the moon and wield the elements of harmony and take care of the weather? She, like, is awesomeness. I mean, yeah, she had this whole nightmare moon thing, but I heard somewhere, I don't know where exactly, but someone thought that Nightmare Moon was a better Luna than Luna because she spoke her mind. Well, so does Luna. It's just Luna in an angry form, not caring. I mean, I haven't read many of the comments, like comic books, but I mean, give her some credit, Hasbro. Give her some more, like, I don't know, credit. Put her in some more, like, episodes. I mean, yeah, there's been, like, fanfics of what she does when she's not on screen. Like, she's sleeping, or she's playing video games, or whatever. And there's not that many, like, how do I want to say this? Fans of Luna, but I've seen a few on the internet. I mean, yeah, Luna's not the most known pony, but that kind of makes her a kind of special thing. I mean, Luna's got her own freaking royal guard. I mean, that's freaking awesome. They look better than Celestia's. And then, I mean, not to diss her, but Celestia is like a troll, a major troll. And Luna is like the younger sister who looks up to the older sister, but kind of wants to do her own thing. I mean, no one actually notices anything. I mean, yeah, Luna is one of those ponies that show up in a great while and nothing else happens with her. I mean, she's there for like 15 minutes in an episode and then she's gone. Maybe because Hasbro doesn't have anything for her or whatever. I mean, lots of people in the Brony fandom I've read want more Luna episodes. I know that one analyst that I watch said that right after the pilot episode aired, the plan was to do more Luna episodes, but right after the pilot episode, they said that wouldn't be a good idea because she's a villain. Well, she got changed back into her original self. So I don't see what the problem is with giving her her own episode. I mean, yeah, she's helped other ponies. And she lowers the moon at the Summer 7 celebration, which kind of gives a load off Celestia's back. And then Luna singing. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for that forever. I mean, I've never personally thought I'd hear Luna sing. And when she sang in Twilight's Kingdom, I was so freaking happy, I almost blew up my room. I was so happy. I mean, I might not be the only one who thinks that, but I thought that was awesome. And then I realized that's probably going to be the last time we hear Luna sing. Because it's Hasbro and they don't know good ponies when they see it, I guess. That's just my thoughts. My problem that I have with Hasbro is that they don't treat Luna like every other pony on the show. I mean, yeah, she's a princess and she's not like Celestia or Cadence or Twilight or whoever. But at least Luna has a toy or 2 or 3 out there. I mean, I'd rather see more Luna toys than Celestia toys. Now, don't count me wrong, I don't have a problem with Celestia. But it seems like more people relate to Luna than they do Celestia. And even Celestia's not on screen for very long. But at least with Luna, you have a good understanding of what is why you connect with her. I mean, she's like the one person in the whole show. Sorry, I mean pony. That you can relate to. I mean, when Equestria Girls came out, I wanted to see it so bad, but I had to wait till it was on the hub because it didn't come to my town or to my area. And so I waited till the hub had it, and I was like, okay, I know most of these ponies, but I couldn't find Luna. And then it hit me. They had Luna there for like 15-20 minutes in the beginning, and then as soon as Twilight enters the mirror, we see Celestia, who is the first person she goes to, which makes sense because it's well, Twilight. And then when the fall formal happens, we get Princess Luna, who's in a dark room. Like, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, I get it. Vice Principal Luna. Her counterpart is Princess Luna, who's in charge of the night. I get the night jokes. Let up on the night jokes, please. Thank you. And she doesn't say that much. I mean, Luna has like one scene where she's actually talking. And I mean, really? She has more screen time in the actual show talking than she does in this movie. So, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, why make her vice principal? I've never understood that. I'll probably get into more of that later when my friend shows up. But no, I mean, they just don't portray her that well. And then this new series that they're coming out with Equestria Girls is Rainbow Rocks, and she's in one of the animated shorts. Vice Principal Luna watches the Sonic Rainbow concert. She watches, so that doesn't even mean she'll have a speaking part. What? I'm sorry, this is turning into a rant more than I like, but I'm defending my favorite pony, darn it. And then there's the comic books, who do a lot better with Luna than the show does. I mean, yeah, they changed a few things, but at least she has more, like, I don't want to say this, more spotlight, I guess, in there than anything. And then someone told me one time that she has a thing for Big Mac. I don't think that's, no, I don't see that happening. And see I'm going to get into this more when my friend shows up, but Season 1, she showed up in maybe 2 episodes. Season 2, and 3, if that. And then Season 3, she showed up in 4. And then Season 4, she showed up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which wasn't really that much. I mean, yeah, you have an excellent pony to be using, but at least use her a little bit more. So when Megan McCarthy said that there will be a Season 5, my only thing about this is that they need to use Princess Luna a lot more than they have. I mean, they have an excellent princess. So, I mean, yeah. I'm definitely just I'm at the point where I'm about to throw my hands up in the air and say the heck with it. But I can't because I'm cheering for Luna. I am cheering for Luna in Season 5. And if it's with a Sweetie Belle or Scootaloo or whoever, helping them find their cutie mark or help them with a situation, I'm all for it. But I know that Luna's still jealous. I mean, it doesn't eventually show, but she is. I'll probably show you in what episode she looks like she's still jealous. But I think the comic book does a lot more with that than the show will, because in issue 10, which I have not read, this is one of my friends told me, Luna thinks Celestia's job is much easier and takes Celestia's work for a day. Luna realizes that her sister does a lot of work, and then she goes back to the night, which makes completely sense because, I mean, who wouldn't want to have the night? It's pretty, it's quiet, you get lots of things done at night. In the summertime, it's a lot cooler. And, I mean, it's awesome. Now, the reason why I connect with Luna so much is because when Luna's shy, that's about as shy as I get. I mean, I'm not always this hyper energetic person. And I'm not always wanting to make friends. I mean, I'm a little skeptical at first, which kind of reflects back to Luna. She's not always there. She's not always making friends. And the friend she does make is with the younger subjects of her kingdom, which makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, yeah, Luna has her faults, and so do I, but I connect with her mostly because she tries to help, and I think she does a great job about it, but, I mean, if you were Princess Luna and you got peeved about whatever, and you were upset, I don't think anyone would banish you to the moon, but you definitely would take a while to get over it. And I wouldn't come back angry like Nightmare Moon did, but I get what they're trying to get there. And it's just me. I mean, so Luna has some faults and other things, but I mean, Luna's awesome. I mean, just look at her personality. She's funny, she's kind, she's energetic, especially for Night Eclipse. She was definitely trying to figure herself out, and she had Twilight to help. So, I mean, yeah, she's on one hand this helpful pony, but then again, she's using her own experiences and transforming them into something that will help another pony. So, I mean, yeah, Luna is a background character, definitely, but she's not that. She's not a background character. She's definitely a pony that you can understand what's going on and that you can relate to. sure, you could probably relate to other ponies, like Fluttershy or Pinkie Pie. But I think being a princess, you kinda are like the main six. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Luna's definitely an interesting pony. I just relate with her in the way of you've had these issues. Now let's use these life problems and we'll use them with other ponies and teach them how not to do whatever with whatever. So, I mean, yeah, I have my own issues. Turning off the camera. Being Nightmare Moon probably helped Luna connect with her subjects more. And so she's using those to connect with other people. And so, I keep saying people, other ponies. And she just has that positive balance of helping. And I mean, yeah, she has flaws. I mean, heck, Cadence has flaws. And no one said Cadence was perfect. I'm not a big I'm not a Cadence fan, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, Princess Luna to me is something very special, and I don't think the writers know what to do with her, but they're using her more. And Megan McCarthy knows that the writers want more of her. It's just, how do you fit Luna in? So that's what we're going to be doing in this video, is how do you fit a pony like Luna into a video? How do you fit her into an episode focusing on just her? And I think when Twilight was struggling with being a princess, Celestia couldn't help her, and Cadence sure didn't help. And I think Luna helped more because she understood where Twilight was coming from. She understood that Twilight wants to know what to do. She wants a kingdom of her own. She wants to know what her future is. And Luna had that same problem. Instead of being in the background of Celestia, she wanted to spread her wings, and she wanted to do whatever. She wanted to be her independent self. And I'm completely fine with that. I mean, heck, that's what I want to do someday. I want to spread my wings, and I want to leave my parents' house. And at the moment, that's not happening. I mean, I'm not going to go all Nightmare Moon on my parents, and they're sure not going to banish me to the moon. That would be completely awkward. But, I mean, if you play your cards right, you definitely could, find yourself somewhere else. And I think that's what that song in Twilight's Kingdom was referring to. If you go, you'll find out what your future is. So, I mean, we'll get more into this when my friend shows up. But there are definitely things in this show that are awesome. I think my friend just made a comment to me. What's going on here? Okay, that is true. Celestia and Cadence did actually help just as much with Twilight as Luna. But I think Luna understood more. I think Luna understood, and so did Cadence. And I guess, in a way, Celestia understood herself. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I look at it at the way of Luna's part of the song. I mean, yeah, I guess Celestia and Cadence helped. And I guess I just looked at it the point of what Luna was saying. Because I guess I was still focusing on what Luna was saying during that song. Not so much of what Cadence and Celestia were saying. But I guess that's just me. I mean, yeah, I, I, I could see where that is coming from. And my friend just made another comment. She, she's understanding being undervalued, but Celestia and Cadence understand other aspects. Luna does not. I see where my friend's coming from this. We'll probably get more in depth about this when we're both in the call together. So I think we'll get more into that type of thing later. But I'm getting what my friend's saying. I mean, yeah, being undervalued, it sucks. I've had that happen since I have dyslexia. I've been undervalued. And the other aspects, I guess, I could see it if you explained it in a way like, I don't know, if you explained it to me in a way that made me feel that they helped. Because to me, they probably did. But I guess I was so caught up in Luna singing in that song that my mind just was blown that they actually had Luna sing. And I mean, yeah, Celestia has now, like, what, 2 songs under her belt, so does Cadence. And this is, like, the only song Luna has. So I think that's why I was so caught up in it and wasn't paying attention to what they were saying. But, I mean, Cadence and Luna and Twilight are, like, the young princesses, I guess. That's how you want to put it. And Celestia is one of the grown-up ponies. I guess I consider Celestia a horse. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could see Luna and Cadence and Twilight being ponies, and Celestia is a horse. I'm sorry, it's just my thought. She's a horse. I mean, it show's called My Little Pony, so basically they're all ponies, but Luna is a pony. I think that makes more sense to me personally, but Celestia is a horse. That's just me. Don't bite my head off. Don't leave a nasty comment. But I do think Celestia is a horse. And not in the meanest way possible. Anyway, I think we can get down to the main part of this video. I'm not trying to make it uber duper super long rant over this, so I'm going to see if my friend's ready. Type into my friend. So, I mean, I just called her fried. That's wonderful. I called her a french fry. So, I mean, we'll get into why we both like Luna, and we might have some disagreements about it, but mostly it's my thoughts and her thoughts about, yes. I mean, it'll be my thoughts on why I like Luna, and then it'll try to be back and forth. And now my friend's making me hungry. So, I mean, we'll be talking about like season 1, season 2, season 3, and season 4, but only on the how Luna about Luna, and then we'll talk more about other pony-related subjects. It's not just going to be Princess Luna through this whole video. I mean, we're also probably going to be talking about other ponies. But basically on Luna. And my friend's being a troll. So, I mean, yeah, Luna's my favorite, and I back her up completely. Because who wouldn't want to raise the moon? Give me one person who would not want to raise the moon. And we'll probably talk about how Celestia's, like, she's not always the perfect sister, but at least Luna has someone to look up to. And we'll probably get into how Princess Cadence and Shining Armor were an issue in the series, and so, yeah, I'll get my friend here.
And I have just joined in on this lovely conversation.
Hello.
Yes, as you were saying, raising the moon would be fun, but it's a big job. I'm more of a night owl, and I like the sleeping. Yeah, sure, it'll be fun, but it's a big job. I mean, did you see how much stress they put on Twilight?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't even keep it in one area.
She sent it all over Equestria, made Shining Armor and the rest of the Canterlot guards go WTF.
Whoa. I'm sure Shining Armor had a headache. And I'm sure that if Celestia saw that, she definitely want to help her later.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
She
I
doesn't
mean,
have that kind of power.
yeah. Since Celestia's done it before.
Yeah. But since we've gotten started on the topic of the other alicorns,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to explain a few things myself about alicorns that I've learned over time.
Go ahead.
Alright. It seems like there were many, many more alicorns before Celestia and Luna.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was reading or actually listening to, a fan fiction that somebody had wrote, and she's very well respected.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look this person up, her name is Inkrose98. She has many theories.
I know who you're talking about.
Headcanons. And she did one for Celestia, Luna, and Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Celestia's parents were what's called natural alicorns, and Celestia and Luna are natural alicorns. They were born alicorns, and they have a supreme natural connection to their specific element or whatever their cutie mark is.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Celestia and Luna. Celestia can raise the sun with ease.
Mm-hmm.
Raising the moon would be a little more difficult for her, but because she is Luna's sister, she has the skill for it.
Right.
And vice versa, though Luna is obviously much younger. In fact, if I was to guess correctly, Luna is probably a bit of a teenager still. She's not fully grown, according to Lauren Faust.
Mm-hmm.
Alicorns that are natural develop more slowly, and their minds do not keep up with their age. So, however old Celestia is now, she's probably a couple hundred years behind mentally, but she is fully an adult.
Right.
And Luna is probably a teenager in her mind, and she's had time to, come back. Her mind has had time to come and catch up with the rest of her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been trapped on the moon, and
that kind of stops.
I'll get to that shortly.
That stops things.
Stop interrupting me, Linda. Anyway, I will get to the Nightmare Moon thing shortly, but anyway, so natural alicorns were in general killed off during the Draconicue and Alicorn Wars, which was when Celestia and Luna were extremely young. And Discord is probably about the same age as them. Maybe slightly older, because it seems he has an older mindset, but because he's the spirit of chaos, he is more inclined to be more mischievous, though he has matured.
Mm-hmm.
You have to admit, he has matured a little.
A little.
But, nonetheless...
He's still Discord.
Yes, Discord is Discord. That's that. So, obviously they met when they were very young and thought they were best of friends. I'm sure they were the best of friends in the world. But once Celestia and Luna became a little older and helped out the unicorns that were attempting to raise the sun and moon so they could survive, which is an arduous task for that kind of pony.
Mm-hmm.
She was discovered to have that natural power, so I'm not going to completely go into this because it's Rose's headcanon, but it's basically explaining how she got her cutie mark and stuff. So if you guys want to go check it out, go check it out. I recommend it, that way you understand.
Mm-hmm.
And, so natural alicorns will live for thousands upon thousands of years. In fact, I think Luna and Celestia's parents have lived for eons before they were killed. They might be immortal, but they can be killed, as it was shown when Nightmare Moon attacked Celestia, and Chrysalis fired a good shot at Celestia.
Mm-hmm.
Granted that Chrysalis was all juiced up on Shining Armor's love, but that still counts as magic.
It's magic no matter what.
Exactly. Now, Cadence and Twilight were both made into alicorns. It has been proven that Cadence was not a natural alicorn. So when you saw her as a filly,
Mm-hmm.
Twilight was still young, but Cadence, because of the alicorn magic bestowed upon her at such a young age, she was a little more matured, but not fully grown yet, and she wasn't an alicorn for very long, as it showed.
Mm-hmm.
Her powers over love is what helped her define her destiny and how she became a princess.
Right. And if you hadn't been paying to the series, you know why Twilight's an alicorn.
Yes. Twilight has been able to show her intellect and all that fun stuff, and that's why she is a princess.
Mm-hmm.
But natural alicorns will age as slowly as a natural alicorn, but they are not immortal. They do not have the same gravitational powers as Celestia, Luna, and any other natural alicorns that might be still alive.
I mean, if I was Twilight or Cadence, I'd probably be quote-unquote jealous that I'm not like my other two alicorn friends, but at least I'm a princess in general.
So, what would happen with Cadence and Twilight, there was what happened was they would age to a point to where they would be very old, and by this time Celestia and Luna would probably be extremely old. They would still have the same amount of power as before, but they would be kind of weakened. Even Discord would be extremely old by then.
So are you saying they're like Granny Smith old?
They would begin to show signs of that. They wouldn't be Granny Smith old, because Granny Smith is natural Earthborn. In fact, she would be dead by then. Same with the main six, unless they somehow became artificial alicorns.
Who knows with Hasbro?
Spike might still be alive by that time, because dragons can live for many, 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 many years. I mean, they're nigh immortal.
Right.
Nigh immortal meaning that they would still be able to be killed, but they could still live for, like, ever. They can die of old age, but Spike would be an advanced age by then. He'd be a powerful dragon, he'd have his own territory, and all that, but this is not about Spike. We're talking about alicorns.
Yes.
So, Twilight would probably be at her full height. She's obviously not fully grown yet. In fact, I think the main six are all nearly adult age, or they are
getting to
teenagers.
Yeah.
Like Rainbow Dash, for example. She might be the youngest of all the main six, next to Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy.
Yeah.
Applejack would probably be the oldest. Rarity would be about the same age as Applejack.
Mm-hmm.
And Twilight would be in the middle.
Right.
So natural alicorns. Artificial. Cadence was born of Pegasus.
Right.
And she had this many people believe she was born in the Crystal Empire, hence why she has a heart-shaped crystal, hence the crystal heart, if you get where the reference is. So, she must have been born in the Crystal Empire, and her family may have left because of Sombra's rule.
Mm-hmm.
So, she is about 1,000 years old by this time.
Right.
In the present. So, she's pretty old, but not as old as Celestia and Luna.
Mm-hmm.
When she was Twilight's full sitter, she was still not completely full grown because of the magic. But how she became an alicorn, maybe because she found her destiny by putting a special couple together, like a prince or princess.
Mm-hmm.
And she made something happen that helped Equestria out significantly. And Celestia, by this time, there was no mention of Luna in the headcanon that I had heard.
Right.
So Celestia would have been able to give her that power, as she did for Twilight, which I was surprised Luna didn't appear until the end of that episode.
There are a bunch of fan things like she was sleeping or she was playing a game or whatever.
Right. Well, I think when Cadence was young, Luna was already banished to the moon. It probably didn't take very long, if anyone has seen the Fall of the Crystal Empire.
Mm-hmm.
It probably didn't take long for Sombra's magic to do its thing that it did to Luna. I'm not really sure how to...
It did its thing.
It didn't necessarily corrupt her. She is the knight, so, like you said, Sombra's power is a fraction of the forces that she faces each and every night.
Mm-hmm.
So, she probably just absorbed that, and it awakened a darker side to her.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably didn't take long, considering how long it took for Luna to go berserk on Sombra and become the early Nightmare Moon.
Right.
So it probably didn't take much longer for her to start becoming bitter and hateful towards her own sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually become Nightmare Moon. That was probably 100 years later, maybe. I'm just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know specifically when Luna started to become more bitter. It's just said at some point. So I think by the time Cadence came around, she was already banished to the moon.
Right.
So Celestia made her an alicorn. Well, now that she's become nigh immortal, let's put it at that,
Mm-hmm.
she ages slow. She must have become this when she was very young. Probably about Twilight's current age.
Mm-hmm.
So she aged, she becomes a princess, and she becomes Twilight's full sitter in the next, so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still young. Her body hasn't completely adjusted to its newfound powers, but she begins to age more rapidly as she babysits Twilight and the years go by. For artificial alicorns, the years go by a little bit differently than natural alicorns.
Right.
So she must have rapidly aged at some point, but she might be at her full height now. She is obviously an adult alicorn, nearly the same age as Shining Armor.
Right.
They have the same height, essentially. So she's probably full grown. Twilight is probably half a foot shorter than the rest of than Cadence and her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight obviously was born a unicorn.
Right.
And she was given the power of pure magic.
Which equals friendship.
Right. It's the thing that unifies it. There is something that you can consider the magic of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Because But you can't have just one trait. You can't have all 5 of those things without being individually friends with somebody. There's a specific magic that goes with it, hence the friendship is magic.
Mm-hmm.
So she has that power and becomes the 6 elements of harmony. She defeats Night Moon. Okay, that's 1 plus for Celestia giving her a look over and becoming a princess.
Right.
Season 2. We have Discord who appears. So she defeats Discord after overcoming his corruption and temptation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another mark towards her. Cadence must have done a similar thing to become an Alicorn.
She had so many trials or whatever.
So many trials to sit through. They have to get to the ultimate trial.
Mm-hmm.
So then she faced Queen Chrysalis. Well, that essentially isn't really a trial itself, but it was a trial on her friendship. It was a strain because Chrysalis was ruining everything for her friends and making her lose her friends. Now her friends know better to trust her when her instincts are kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another mark. She helped save them, but then again, it was Cadence who actually saved them. Cadence is shining armor. But without Twilight, they never would have found out, really, until the last minute.
It's a web of who did it.
So it was a combination of factors. So that gave her another big strike, but most of the credit goes to Cadence and Shining Armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we have Season 3. Here comes King Sombra, the return of the Crystal Empire. Then she had to face her worst fears. Worst things to happen. She overcame that with the help of her friends, including Spike. Spike gets a good reputation there too, because he would, without him helping her, she would have been lost, possibly. She would have become this little apprentice, sort of. She would have turned into a little mini King Sombra, because King Sombra's a unicorn. He is very strong. Probably as strong as Starswirl the Bearded, which I'm surprised he didn't become an artificial alicorn, but perhaps Celestia and Luna didn't have that power. Anyway.
That's a topic for another video.
He was strong. If he can do that and still be alive, essentially, to attack and return the Crystal Empire and try to control it again, he's a toughie. He is essentially fear itself.
Right.
So there's another plus for her.
Alright.
And then we go along through Season 3, and then she becomes an alicorn. Boom!
Shocks the fuck out of the fandom.
Yes, and now, the bad side of having being Hasbro has to make all their toys. All the previous toys. Now they have to redo a lot of their toys and make them alicorns or Twilights.
You gotta put freaking wings on everything.
And it's obnoxious. So that's the downside to her being an alicorn. And being an alicorn can make her slightly overpowered in many people's eyes, which is already powerful as it is.
Right.
She could probably be more powerful than Celestia herself.
Right. Because I know by my personal self that when Twilight became a princess, a lot of the fandom was like, wait, what? You're doing what?
Yeah, a lot of the people were like, they expected it, but they were not exactly happy about the way they went about it. In fact, most of the people wanted a musical-based episode, but they didn't like it, how they did it.
Well, they complained about the episode anyway.
Yes, they all complain about an episode. There's many episodes where they complain about it, like Simple Ways and a whole bunch of other things. But that is for later on.
Right.
That is season 4. So, about Luna and everybody. Luna is a very special character. She, obviously, as the younger sister, is very looked down upon. She is undervalued, especially in the beginning. And people do have a fear of the night, and it's understandable. You can't see anything, and you're not aware of what's around you.
I'm still afraid of the dark.
Yeah, I admit it too. But I understand Luna's views about why she feels undervalued.
Yeah.
It was unfair of others not to be as excited about it. Celestia did try. There is evidence of her trying to help make it all better and explain to her what's what and all that fun stuff. But Luna was clouded by her bitterness and hatred. She wouldn't listen. So partially being Nightmare Moon is on Luna, but there is blame to put on Celestia because she wasn't being a good mentor to her sister. Now, there's also a little bit of blame to put on to the ponies of Equestria. Luna didn't see the reason behind them being inside. She didn't understand that they were sleeping. And even though she's a bit of a dream walker, she wasn't really paying attention to why. She didn't understand that they need rest during the night. Night is a time for comfort, relaxation. Sure, a walk through a moonlit field is good, but it's dangerous at night. During the day, you can see what's going on. Luna doesn't understand that completely in the beginning.
Right.
Now she knows better.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she's understood now why people may not value her as much, but they definitely value her more today than they did in the past.
Right.
So,
I mean,
go ahead.
If being turned into Nightmare Moon gets you respect in a way, I completely understand it, but I'm just like, you're banished to the moon and you come back and you are celebrating your own holiday and kids are afraid of you. I wonder why.
Well, no, you're overlooking a few things. She didn't understand the consequences of creating an eclipse. If you saw the look on her face in Princess Twilight Sparkle, she figured out it was going to be a bad idea. She could feel the darkness just overcoming her. It was more than she could handle, and she didn't realize this is what would happen. Much like the things that today's youth and people do, with certain things that I can't put, but it's true.
Cough, cough. You are excused.
Anyways,
there's your comedy, people.
Yes, comedy for the live stream. Anyway.
Oh my.
She didn't understand the gravity of what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
An eclipse is scary. I've seen one myself, and it is kind of scary because your light at night is leaving. It's gone. Unless you have the lights of today, you're kind of stuck if you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And on the other hand, it's also kind of cool, but you're not wanting to admit it because you're still like, where's my light?
Yeah, so she didn't understand what the gravity for raising the moon too early would do to her.
Mm-hmm.
Had any other pony been in a similar situation, they wouldn't have been able to handle it. I think that the power would have been too much for her
Mm-hmm.
or him. But no other pony can raise the moon without a great struggle, like Twilight. It is not Twilight's skill. In fact, she was only able to raise the moon because of Luna's power being sent to her.
Mm-hmm.
So the power just like saturated her and it took over her mind and it became a separate being essentially. Hence Nightmare Moon.
Right.
Luna's consciousness was sent into this stasis, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She knew what was going on, but she had no control.
She
didn't
couldn't.
want to attack Celestia. She didn't want Celestia dead. She just wanted more respect.
Right.
And she went about it the wrong way. So, when she attacked Celestia as Nightmare Moon, I'm sure she was horrified at what was going on. She had no control over herself.
Right.
So, Nightmare Moon speaks of Luna as someone else. And in the comics, Nightmare Forces, which are technically given as Nightmare Moon, they speak of Rarity as someone else when Rarity becomes Nightmare Rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Or as some people like to put it, Nightmarity. Which is actually a good idea.
It is, but it's also a very funny pun.
Yes, it is. It is corny.
Boo, I
But,
live in.
Obviously there's a difference between the events.
Mm-hmm.
Luna is significantly weakened when she is brought back from Nightmare Moon. Nightmare Moon seems to be a very powered up state. She seems to be a natural alicorn, if you think about it.
Right.
Like one of the original alicorns that were natural. She could have been, in essence, cast if the Nightmare Forces aren't truly canon in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord Foss says that that's not what Luna's going to be when she grows up. Completely.
Right.
So, Nightmare Moon takes control. Her form change, blah, blah, blah. I think Luna's form was put into a stasis as well. Not just her consciousness being thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets sent to the moon, and she's sitting there for 1,000 years.
She has a kingdom and whatever.
Well, people start seeing the Mare of the Moon, and they hear about Nightmare Moon, and think she's only legend. And this is where the origins of Halloween come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare Night is, in essence, dedicated to her, but it's like our Halloween, just like Heartswarming Eve.
Mm-hmm. That's our Christmas.
Yes. So, they start making up stories about her, all these crazy beasts, which some of them do exist
Right.
in the My Little Pony world, like Manticores, as shown in the first episode. Actually, it's technically the second episode, but you guys get to understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, they dress up as them, and they actually think Nightmare Moon is going to come and get them.
Right.
No, she's not. She's going to stay there and just glow to herself. Oh, I'm finally getting respect. But she knows that she can't do anything about it.
She's stuck on the moon.
Yeah. Instead of a scary holiday, it becomes a fun tradition over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when Luna comes back, she doesn't understand this because she's been gone for 1,000 years. And for anyone who thinks that she understands how Nightmare Night in the beginning, no, she obviously doesn't. She was on the moon. How is she supposed to hear somebody from like 1,000,000 miles away or something? However many miles away it is to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Luna has, like, supersonic hearing.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She's a pony.
So she obviously doesn't understand. Luna does have a few things that she doesn't understand in the beginning, like the Royal Counterlot voice. That's been cut out for a long time ago. In fact, I think Celestia only uses it when she has to address a large crowd from on high.
Or she's upset or whatever.
Well, we haven't seen her upset in using it, but that's when she's been one-on-one with a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chrysalis.
Right.
So, she, in general, keeps her cool. Luna doesn't understand this, and she thinks it's still okay.
It's still the thing to do.
Twilight is able to help her understand that, no, it's not okay to do this.
You're freaking people out.
They're all thinking that you're still Nightmare Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, Pinkie Pie and everybody else, they get that she's not Nightmare Moon anymore. She just happened to appear at the right place at the wrong time.
Right.
But she doesn't understand that. No, she doesn't understand. She didn't know there was some sort of holiday. That was kind of a dedication of her, but it was more of a dedication of her alter persona.
Mm-hmm.
So she learns that she needs to be kinder and gentler, and she does become kinder and gentler. She starts talking normally, but she's not given a whole lot to say in any other episodes.
Right.
And a lot of people agree that she needs more. In fact, her singing in Twilight's Kingdom is a blessing, if you ask me. It is beautiful to hear.
I don't know if you heard me, but I said that I had blown up when I heard her sing, because it's like a rare thing to hear.
It is. In fact, it's the one and only time that she sings. Celestia has sung twice.
Cadence twice.
Cadence has sung twice now. I'm not sure if any other time, because I haven't been able to keep up with the episodes, if she's sung any other time. Discord singing was actually pretty amusing.
Yes.
But this isn't about Discord. So I agree, Luna needs more attention. Celestia gets too much attention. They need to give more context of the origins of Equestria.
Mm-hmm.
They need to explain what's outside of Equestria, such as Scorpan and T-Rex came from.
Right.
Or where the changelings came from. A lot of people think they came from the Badlands, south of Equestria.
I could see that.
It makes sense. There's probably more than one hive of changelings. Chrysalis can't be the only changeling out there.
Right.
And many people have created changeling hives as theories of who else is there. Sure, Chrysalis is probably the largest of the hives.
Mm-hmm.
And
the way I put it, they were the bees of Equestria.
actually, no, they're not necessarily bees. Changelings, yes, they are insectoid, but they are still qualified as ponies if you think about it.
Well, yeah. I could
They
see that.
probably were some sort of pony, and then something happened to them, because changelings just don't appear out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think this might be an impersonation. Like, they might be, there was probably a creature that was a changeling before them, and they are what's remaining.
Right.
They are the more successful beings that are descended from them.
Right.
So, there's probably, again, like I said, more than one tribe. There's probably Chrysalis, the largest,
Mm-hmm.
and hers, obviously we know about hers being the most aggressive and the most well-known by now. It's probably one that lives in the desert,
Mm-hmm.
one that lives in the jungles, one that lives near the main cities, but just kind of stays underground.
Just kind of chilling out. They don't want to be spotted or
Noticed
whatever.
well. And there is someone on DeviantArt who has created such changelings, and I am basically referencing them.
Mhm.
But I'm saying in general, there has to be different species. There's probably some that can actually swim
Right.
in the water because ponies haven't been shown to swim very well.
Mhm.
So they probably just mope around for a while waiting for a passing ship and grab what they can. Changelings seem to be scavengers.
Mhm.
Now there's the question of whether a changeling could be Luna or Nightmare Moon. If Celestia can be overpowered by Nightmare Moon and Queen Chrysalis juiced up on love energy, then who's to say that she's not going to be more overpowered by Luna?
Right. And Luna was barely in.
Canterlot Wedding.
Yeah. She shows up.
She only appeared like 3 times.
Yeah.
She appeared in the beginning, sort of, when she took over for Celestia at night.
Mhm. Which makes sense.
And then she called out Twilight for running out at night, that things could happen.
Mhm.
And then she appears at the end saying, "What did I miss?"
I'm gonna.
So Celestia is weak,
Mhm.
in a sense. Her power comes from the sun. Okay. Because it comes from the sun, it's gotta be weaker at night.
Right.
It's gotta be weak in general. I mean, she could probably turn into solar flare as people have done on DeviantArt. She could probably, but she's not an all-powerful being. It's been proven.
Right.
Twilight could probably beat her
Right. If Twilight really wanted to.
if she wanted to. That's the whole thing. If she wanted to, she could. If she didn't want to, obviously she doesn't. But she still has some. She doesn't feel like she's being used or anything. If she had to, she would fight Celestia.
Mhm.
Everyone knows that.
Mhm.
So the question is, could Luna / Nightmare Moon, either one of them, be Queen Chrysalis? I'm going to say yes. Sure, changelings are strong even without all that love, but they could probably overpower Luna with numbers and substantially weaken her if she had to use a lot of energy. We haven't seen Luna's fighting skills. We've only seen Nightmare Moon, and Nightmare Moon is a formidable opponent.
Mhm.
So, you have Luna just in there. She could be overpowered by the changeling, the little ones,
Mhm.
but she could definitely bring those ones down. Chrysalis, on the other hand, she might be able to beat Luna.
Mhm.
If she was Nightmare Moon, on the other hand, that would be another question. The Knight would be against them to begin with, but this is a full-on angry, evil being.
Princess
But actually,
Pony.
Nightmare Moon probably isn't all that bad. It's just because of circumstances and what Luna's state of mind was when she was transformed. Nightmare Moon probably isn't so bad.
Yeah.
So she'd probably go in there because the threat Chrysalis threatened the kingdom once more. And she decided, you know what, it's time we take them down, we show them who's boss, blah, 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 blah. And she knew that perhaps being Nightmare Moon would be the best option
Mhm.
because she herself, even though she could beat the little changeling, she knows Chrysalis is a formidable opponent, even without as much power as she got
Mhm.
from Shining Armor. So she goes up against Chrysalis' Nightmare Moon. Nightmare Moon is a full-on beast. She's proving herself a worthy opponent.
Right.
Chrysalis is having a hard time beating her. She thought Celestia was a cakewalk.
Mhm.
Well, little Luna, not so much. She's still a bit of a cakewalk. Nightmare Moon, on the side of good, would be a huge plus.
Mm-hmm.
And her power is much stronger than Celestia. If you saw that one magical blast that hit Celestia in the chest and knocked her down,
Yeah.
well, there's a problem. And Chrysalis knocked her out with one magical blast too, so that shows that Celestia is weak in comparison to Luna.
Right.
Where there's light, there's always shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chrysalis would probably be overpowered by Nightmare Moon. Not quickly unless she wasn't thinking very well.
Right.
And when she would be done with her, she would probably end her in the most brutal way possible. Or if Luna's rational sense came back, she'd probably do a sort of banishment. You know?
Yeah. My whole problem with the whole Luna being Chrysalis thing is that yeah, Luna wasn't there for like half or the whole episode, but I think it's kind of odd how Chrysalis, after Chrysalis is like gone, Luna shows up.
It is odd. And you have to wonder if Chrysalis was blocking out Luna's dream ability, because obviously Chrysalis has to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So why didn't she tell Celestia? Why didn't she get up in time to tell Celestia, maybe Twilight's right?
Right. Because I think it's odd how no one in the show believed Twilight. And I'm like, well, where's Luna? And Luna's nowhere to be seen.
Yes, that is a problem with a Canterlot wedding. They did not do a very good job at all of that. In fact, they did a fairly terrible job.
I mean, if you're going to add another princess to the princess collection, have the princesses already there in the episode.
Yeah. Another problem with the Canterlot wedding is, I understand why they wouldn't believe Twilight, because she's probably being sibling possessive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She probably was a little bit at first, but they should have probably believed her later on once they started seeing her act a little more
Twilight crazy?
Because she originally, the real Cadence loved the designs from the dress, and obviously the changeling thing that was being her, Chrysalis, she should have looked at that and said, you know what, I should probably start acting more like Cadence.
Mm-hmm.
And not be such a jerk.
Right.
And then she could have turned on Twilight, you know? Later in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have found out possibly a little more of where Chrysalis is from. Was she a princess from a long time ago and became this thing, this strikingly beautiful but ultimately deadly creature?
Mm-hmm.
So we would find out more about who she was, which would have been nice. I mean, King Sombra, we get where he's from already. We know where he's from. We know where Discord is from.
I mean, there's backstory on them, but when Chrysalis shows up, she's like what Cadence in Shining Armor was to the fandom. Comes out of nowhere.
Shining Armor makes sense. I mean, he did come out of nowhere, but obviously most of the main six have siblings of some sort. We don't know about Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, or anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But
Applejack's
and
family.
Twilight,
Mm-hmm.
and Rarity, they all have siblings.
Right.
Older or younger, it doesn't make a difference. They have siblings.
Right.
So then, she could have easily just taken over the kingdom kingdom like that, she also could have taken Celestia early on, because she would have been juiced up pretty fast by shining armor. She could have tricked Celestia into falling for the act and then becoming her instead of shining armor's love, Cadence.
Yeah.
And she would have done a fine job at taking care of the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
She would have controlled the kingdom and gained whatever she wanted.
And not to mention, Twilight wasn't there when she showed up.
No, she wasn't.
And so I think it's kind of awkward how the full sitter and the brother are... That's fine. I like that story. But Twilight's more attached to her mentor than anybody else.
Right. And sure, marriage is a beautiful thing. She could have juiced up on that, released, and the real Cadence would have no idea what's going on. She could have just put her in some sort of stasis and kept her unconscious, and then just kind of like fed information to her, created a little link. She obviously has magical capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
and the real Cadence would have just been able to follow up with everything, not knowing not knowing that Celestia could be Chrysalis in disguise.
Right.
And Celestia could have been in one of those, in the cocoon, and she would have been hidden in the Camelot Cave or whatever, and somewhere secret, the guards would become changelings in disguise. They could all be done away with.
Right.
And we could have found out what that pod does. I mean, Ink Rose did a comic for a while that gave an idea of what that pod does. It turns people into changelings with a large amount of power if they wanted to, like Queen Chrysalis.
Mm-hmm.
She could have used Twilight's love for her mentor immensely. It would have made her like almost godly.
Mm-hmm.
And she had every right just to go in and pretend to be another pony and study Cadence and Celestia and just act like them.
Mm-hmm.
If she can be an alicorn, she could be Celestia if she wanted to.
Yeah. And my two favorite analysts, Tommy Oliver and Anthony C. I watched their version of what they thought of A Candlelight Wedding. And it's a pretty good review. My only problem is that they suspected that Luna was Queen Chrysalis.
No, Luna could not be Queen Chrysalis, otherwise she would be banished.
Right? So that's my only problem.
There's a problem with that.
Yeah.
Queen Chrysalis is someone else entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Luna was just out of it. She was asleep. They actually could have taken Luna as well if she was sleeping. The changelings could have gotten in. At any point since the barrier was supremely weak, they could have just gone up to her, hidden her, and become Luna anytime.
Yeah. I mean, so Luna doesn't show up very often. You could have, like, been Luna and, like, no one would have known.
Nowadays, Queen Chrysalis could be impersonating Luna. I can see how that would fit into it, but back then, no.
Right.
It's just not possible.
I know that some people were having issues that this last season there were more Luna, but not enough of Luna talking.
Right, I mean, her little appearances, sure, that's great. Where's her voice?
She has an awesome
Talk.
voice. I know in Princess Twilight Sparkle, she's like had maybe 1 or 2 words. Then the rest of the time she's just standing there looking at them.
Right. In Twilight Twilight's Kingdom, she had lines, at least. She had a reason to be there, which was good.
Mm-hmm.
And not just standing around. She had a reason to be standing around, not just observing something.
Right.
She could talk, she sang, which was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And she sacrificed a lot of her almost godly power
Right.
to help.
I mean, some people were really upset that her moon only disappeared, not just the whole thing. I'm like, maybe the moon's her only cutie mark.
Right. The moon is her only cutie mark. It's a cutie mark with the thingy around it.
So
A little...
Yeah, a little blob on her butt. Whatever.
Yeah, it's the moon shining out of a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And Celestia has a sun, and it's rays. That's why she's pure white.
Mm-hmm.
Cadence, she's pink for love.
Right.
Her specialty is love magic.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense why it all disappeared.
And, I mean, sure, people had issues that Luna didn't go to her weakened form and Celestia didn't go to her weakened form. Well, maybe not enough of it was sucked out for that to happen.
Right.
I mean, it took Luna, like, what, 2 seasons maybe just to get back to what she was?
Actually, it took a season.
Right?
Because she came back in the middle of season 2, a year directly after she was banished.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it took Luna a good while to get back to wavy hair, wavy tail.
Right. She was weakened severely by the Elements of Harmony, which makes sense.
Right. But taking your powers and putting them into another alicorn does not put you into a weakened form. I'm sorry.
Well, all her energy was drained. That was just her magical energy that she gave into Twilight.
Right.
If we had just Cadence doing it by herself, sure, Twilight would have grown more powerful. She might have been able to do a little bit of moon raising and sun raising.
Mm-hmm.
Celestia's power, okay, now you get a little bit more skill.
Mm-hmm.
But she started to become a little unstable. She barely controls her power to begin with. Now you're giving her all this energy.
I mean, yeah, she went Super Saiyan for like 15 minutes or whatever, but
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't help.
It helped, but T-Rex was already strong to begin with.
Well, I'd be strong too if I took Unicorn, Earth Pony, and Pegasi powers.
So, sure, it helped that he could have been defeated. He could have been defeated a while back. Celestia and Luna and Cadence and Twilight could have done it all by themselves. It would have been like, boom, 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 magical blast, you're dead.
You're back to where you began.
Yes.
No, we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about it.
We're going to give Twilight, the most inexperienced alicorn, all of our power. Granted, it made her look cool for a minute, but
that was my
then it just went. Give her the flowy mane, for God's sake.
I mean, I'm sorry. If you're going to give Twilight your powers, at least...
Yeah, and that Cadence should have the flowing mane a little bit. I mean, she's got strong enough power.
Right.
If her magic plus Shining Armor can banish Queen Chrysalis, which was just basically an overload of love and magic, then she could have flowing mane too.
Right. But no.
Then again, they're artificial alicorns.
Yeah, but no. No flowing mane for Twilight, and Luna's just sitting here like, I missed my cutie mark.
Exactly. She understands why she had to give it up, but honestly, I think they should have given it to Luna.
Mm-hmm.
she's the most experienced next to Celestia, but Celestia's weak, obviously.
And people are like, oh, Luna's just the second fiddle. She's just there to be like the comic relief. And I'm like, no.
She's not actually the comic relief.
That's Spike.
She's there for a good reason.
She's not Spike. She's not there for no apparent reason.
No, Luna has value. And without the night, how are we supposed to get the rest we need? The relaxation? We can't have the sun glaring in our eyes all the time. You need to see the softer shades that are by starlight now revealed.
Mm-hmm. And the way Anthony C. put it, so he thought in his headcanon that Celestia was God. No. There's the sun pony and there's the moon pony. It kind of balances out the earth. And if you don't have one without...
It does for the most part, because obviously there was originally more than one pony that balanced out everything.
Right.
There was possibly a literal pony for the earth, not just an earth pony, but a literal alicorn that had, powers over that.
Mm-hmm.
So then something came up, like the Draconico Alicorn War.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, I completely understand where Lord Faust was getting with this, but there are flaws in this show.
Like every show, there's major flaws. It's not the most perfect show in the world.
Right. I mean, yes, Luna's my favorite pony, but she's my favorite pony because she's not shown all the time, and we want more of her.
She has her moments, and they are always great, except when she's briefly appearing.
Right.
But literally, when she has appeared and spoken, she is beautiful, she's strong, she's an independent thinker. She's not some mindless drone that follows her sister.
Right.
She's my favorite pony, and I got her on a My Little Pony quiz for good reason.
Right. And I just connected with her because I acted like her when I was young. And, I mean, I still act like Luna half the time anyway.
She feels undervalued. She feels... Yeah, she's still undervalued to this day. It's been proven, and her situation as princess is not much better. I'm sure she still feels some resentment to her sister and all that and ponies, but she probably feels at least, I don't know,
she's grateful.
Better.
She's grateful she's not on the moon.
She loves the main six, obviously. She values them as friends. It's been proven already. Even though she may not like Pinkie Pie as much because of the Nightmare Night thing, she obviously values them very much.
I mean, there were times when Luna just appeared. I was happy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, yeah, there's Luna, and I'm happy. And then there's the next episode, she's nowhere to be seen.
It makes me upset how they undervalue her, but it is awesome when she's appearing. She thinks she's a very clear thinker. When she says she understands Twilight wanting more, she understands it. Celeste, now, what I was saying earlier about Celestia and Cadence understanding other aspects that Luna does not, they understand that Twilight is there for a reason. She's not being given a very good purpose. She's just kind of there as a sideshow. She's not as trusted of a princess because she's, quote-unquote, new at this. She's been Celestia's little apprentice since she was a filly.
Right.
So, Twilight doesn't feel like she's gotten anywhere
new.
After being a princess. Yeah, it's like, same vicious cycle that she's been sitting through since day one.
And she's like, I do this and I do that and I do that. I'm still me with wings and a crown.
Yes. And then what happens next is Celestia says patience is a virtue.
Mm-hmm.
She's been telling her that more than like a bajillion times. She does have to have patience, yes, but she's been told that like
Since season 1.
Yes. She has to have patience to learn her skills, and yes, that is true. But Celestia needs to be willing to teach her the more advanced magics and help her balance her power more.
When Celestia said that, I'm like, beat it into our skulls, why don't ya?
Right. Patience is part of friendship, for sure, and learning.
Like,
but that's not how it works.
Like, thank you. We get that.
Cadence is right when she says she's there for a reason, and she reminds Twilight that she's gifted and strong. Duh.
Duh, we know that.
But she reminds her that she belongs. Her time was coming soon.
Right.
And she does have a place to be, but it just hasn't been determined yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the end of Twilight's Kingdom, I didn't like how she said, I'm the princess of friendship. I was thinking for princess of friendship and harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Not just princess of friendship, because you have to have harmony with friendship.
Right.
Friendship does create harmony, but harmony needs to be within friendship.
Oh, I had a pet peeve with that episode.
There was a lot of pet peeves that I had, but I liked it regardless.
Yeah. My only pet peeve that I had, my really big one, was the JJ box thing. All the other episodes in season 4, everyone's gotten their key except Twilight. I thought that maybe Twilight Time was going to be her key episode. They waited till that episode to give her her key, which was a necklace on Discord that he got from the villain.
Who the villain got from his brother.
Yeah.
And the villain didn't value friendship.
Right.
Discord does. It was shown that he thought Tyrek was his friend.
Mm-hmm. And so Discord gives Twilight the necklace. Necklace gives Twilight her key. Keys get turned. JJ box goes on a rainbow into the ground, and poof, comes up a new house.
So, I liked how they integrated the Rainbow Castle, which is from the previous My Little Pony franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It is from there. But I don't like how Rainbow Power had to save them.
Yeah.
It made them look cute, but
you kind of saw it coming.
yeah. It was just like, you know what?
Your previous toy line, Rainbow Power, kind of blew up the secret that this was coming.
Right. So, they should have kept the rainbow forms for them, because it would have made it more possible for them
Mm-hmm.
to show their princess, but because now the rest of the main 6 are princesses essentially.
Well, they each have a chair.
Yeah, they have a throne. Discord will get his throne eventually. We all know that. I think his should be more like Spike's little basket that he used to sleep in.
Right.
A little luxury throne.
Mm-hmm.
And the rainbow form would have given them prestige.
Right.
You know? It would have given them what they deserve, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, cool. We have rainbow powers. this solves our element of harmony problem, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing afterwards. Honestly, I believe in the future, the rest of the main six will become alicorns like Twilight, but it may not be in one season.
Right.
It may be across season upon season.
Right.
Like one season might be dedicated to Applejack learning, and Applejack gains wings and horn.
Mm-hmm.
Applejack becomes the princess of honesty.
Right.
And then Pinkie Pie would be the princess of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And fun.
Right.
Rainbow Dash would become the princess of honor and loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Fluttershy would be the princess of kindness, obviously.
Right.
And caring kindness are the same thing, so really it's just princess of kindness. Rarity would then become the princess of generosity, but originally they were going to have her as the element of inspiration, but children do not understand that at the age this is meant for, but this is also meant for older children at the same time, including teenagers. There are elements in there that are made for teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
So she would become the princess of inspiration and generosity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that the main six will also become alicorns, artificial alicorns, just like Cadance and Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Shining Armor will become an alicorn. He's going to stay the way he is.
If Shining Armor ever becomes an alicorn, save the Brony Hood.
Mm-hmm. But we have yet to see a male alicorn, so that would be interesting.
I know that if one of the, like, someone said Prince Bluebud, or whatever,
Prince Blueblood
is a jerk.
And that's that. He doesn't deserve the role of Prince. Why do you think he is removed like 5 times from Celestia's lineage?
Yeah. Hey, I'm a jerk, but I'm related to the princess.
And I'm gonna be a huge badass. And put Rarity, most kind and generous pony out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I mean, I understand that Lauren Faust was like, well, this is for a show for little girls, and we're going to try not to have this whole girl meets prince becomes princess business. But the Grand Galloping Gala, that's basically what Rarity and Prince Blueblood are doing.
It really is. It's like a twist on Cinderella in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, aside from Celestia's family, back to the main six becoming alicorns, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It actually could happen in 2 seasons or less. Think about it.
I could probably see it.
I can see a couple episodes dedicated to 2 of the rest of the main 6 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So then it would be pretty easy, and I think they'll somehow bring Rainbow Power back.
Well, they've already established it in the show that this is how you're going to save Equestria.
Well, actually, they've done a few things where they won't have them return.
Right.
Now, for the upcoming season 5, I was hoping to save this for the end, but I don't know when you're planning to end this.
Whenever my mind gets tired of talking about ponies.
Probably never know, just kidding. So, season 5, upcoming spoilers. For those of you who do not want to listen to this part, please skip ahead if there is no ending in sight and you don't want to hear this part. There are spoilers. They're one-line spoilers, but they're spoilers nonetheless. Okay. Pinkie Pie is getting a boy. and many people want it to be
Cheese?
that. Yeah, they want it to be the other Earth pony that came in and ended up giving her boneless. I didn't remember his name.
Cheeseless?
But he was
Cheese.
voiced by,
Oh, cheese sandwich?
yes, cheese sandwich.
Yeah, that'd be an awkward couple.
No, actually, it would fit. They work very well together. And
They do.
Weird Al Yankovic did his voice.
Yes. I think that's the only time maybe they've had, I guess, celebrity actually do a pony.
I don't think so, but I have to look that up. Anyway, so she's going to get a boyfriend, and that's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple more after that I can't exactly remember, but the one significant one that I absolutely remember, I'll save that one for last. There is going to be an episode where a fan pony comes on. A fan pony.
A fan pony. Awesome.
So she's not very well known, not the most popular, and that's alright, but I think they could have chosen better. Like the Brony community, out of the Brony and Pegasus community,
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have chosen some of the analysts that are well known on YouTube.
Yeah. Like
Rose.
Mm-hmm. Silver Quill.
Silver Quill, I'm not really sure what to say about him, but
He's funny.
maybe. Golden Fox, he's a Pegasus.
I've seen some of his stuff. That's pretty good.
He's funny. He is very funny. Let's see.
Tommy Oliver.
And they should do a lot of the analyst community.
Mm-hmm.
I would be ecstatic if they did.
Mm-hmm.
But they're bringing in only one fan.
Right.
And which makes me go,
Well,
what is wrong with people?
I know. I mean, me hearing this, I'm like, okay, if it's not a very popular Brony analyst person, then I don't understand why they choose that person, because there's a lot of them that are getting like 100,000 reviews at a time. That would probably be like, oh, I know who that analyst is. I've watched his whatever.
Right, and they would have a significant role, but this one doesn't seem to have a very significant role. In fact, I saw a picture of her character on the spoiler video that I saw, and her character looks like a filly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little filly.
Right.
Why would you do that again? Question mark?
Random question mark picture.
So, how they're going to include that, I have no idea.
I mean, yeah, I've made several pony characters, and I've done a few fillies, but this person who they're thinking about doing, she's not very well known at all.
And she's not the best choice to think about. It's like, okay, maybe her character's original, but that there has to be more to this than just that.
I mean, yeah, I have had, like, I don't know, made one or two pony pictures on Pony Maker, and I've liked them, but nothing I would say, hey, Hasbro Hub, will you put me in your show? And
Right, I'm not the best either. I mean, I'm still working on the designs for some of my ponies. I mean, I've used Pony Maker to make them, but they're not really the most well designed yet. In fact, some of them are just forms for a character.
Right. I mean, the pony that you made me, I use it because it looks like it's from the show. In a way. But it's still unique.
Yeah, I made your pony. I haven't given her a name. I just gave it to you, and I just let you do what you want with it, just as long as you give me credit.
Right.
I made her so you could have Pony and you could use it however you wanted, just as long as you give me credit and all that. But I don't expect it to be the most original.
Right.
Sure, it looks like Cadence. It's an alicorn. But I did my best to make it look as original as I could with what I had. That being said, some of my other ponies that I've drawn, they best I can do with what I got.
There's one pony that you've made that we will not speak of because he has a video too, and I am not going to get my ass kicked by him.
I think I know who you're talking about. Oh boy.
That was a good pony. I like that pony.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I will say this. He does look like Shining Armor a bit, but I actually gave him originality because I had to be original with his design. I actually had something to look off of.
Yes. Oh, Justin.
Joy to the world. Ponies are not dead.
I know that I've had a few comments on my pony saying, "Who made your pony? It's awesome, blah, blah, blah." I said your YouTube name. And so people would know where to find you and whatever. And they're like, "Really? She makes ponies?" I'm like, when she's not at school.
I actually draw, truth be told, I draw most of my stuff at school. But my ponies usually come from other places. So I will draw them at school. I just don't get a chance to put them online.
Right. And I know I've been trying to build my pony that you gave me, like build her up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw it when I was talking, but my picture at the moment is her as a human nightmare Linda pony thing.
Yeah, I think you could use a little work on that because that is kind of, you know, taking off something else.
Right. And I'm trying to work on it, like try to draw it myself without having to recolor. I'm not a fan of recoloring, but I do it for like YouTube or whatever.
Right, you just use it so you can have something so people can identify you with it.
I'm not
That's mostly what I have my ponies for.
I mean, yeah, I'm a fan of the show, but I wouldn't call myself a brony.
No, I cannot keep up with stuff.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about the show, but we're not going into, oh, this is what I thought I would do with it, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's more of a, this is why we like the show in particular.
Right. I like it. I can do it and all that, but I would not call myself a Pegasus or anything.
I mean, we both like other shows.
They're supernatural and a bunch of other things that we like.
Supernatural pony pictures. Look it up on Google, people. They're awesome. I mean, some of the people who draw the supernatural pony pictures, they take a picture of Sam or Dean or Bobby or Cass, and they sit them down and like, well, how can I make them pony formed?
Ah.
That's how I found it. So.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really wanted to, I guess we could do it, but it'd take a while.
Right.
And I've actually had someone on my channel ask me who I like on the show. I think you could probably answer it.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to tell who you like.
I mean, who wouldn't like Jared? I mean, Okay, I'm going to confess right now. My Skype picture for like 15 minutes was Sam Winchester with no shirt on.
Right. I don't really like that one.
I know you don't, but it
I'm
was
not.
that was funny.
I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but
Oh, I put it up and I'm like, "Hey Draco, look at this." She's like, "No, go away, go, shoo."
and then I had to go get help from somebody else who does not probably want to be mentioned in this live stream, but he's being mentioned a little anyway.
Yes, yes, my wonderful younger person who I live with came and told me to knock it off. So, putting it in the nicest way possible, since he likes to use certain language.
Right.
Who I am trying to get into Pony slowly, and at the moment he likes to Quill.
Because I think he likes listening to the reviews on it.
Mm-hmm. He actually told me that he actually looked up an episode to see what they were talking about, and he watched it all the way through.
Well, of course, you have to watch an episode all the way through to understand what they're talking about.
And he's like, "What is this episode about?" And so I'm sitting there with him, so in case like he needs to bang his head or whatever.
Of course.
And he's like, "Why doesn't this pony do this thing? And why are they looking through?" Because we were watching Daring Do. And he's like, "They're just standing there, doing nothing, and she's getting mugged." And I'm like, "It's a pony show."
So yeah, there are some things that need to be worked on, but the show is a great show regardless, and there is a lot to be learned from it. There is value in the show,
Mm-hmm.
unlike the original, if you ask me.
The original shows had design flaws really badly.
Oh yes.
My biggest problem with, I want to say 3, was that the Freezebees, I can't pronounce it.
Breezies?
Yes, the Freezies.
Oh, hang on a second. Continue talking.
They were a little bit more developed than they were in Generation 3. They were ponies with wings and antennae coming out of their head. And then Generation 4 shows up, and they're a little bit more developed and a little bit more thought out. And while that's awesome and everything, lots of analysts were going back to oh, I remember when this was a horse with wings and antenna, and I like this version better. They actually have names, and they have a language. They're not in this high-pitched voice that everyone pretends to have type attitude. Which drove me nuts. And it's just, the freeze, there, no, it's, you don't make a callback like that, and that just drives me nuts.
Oh, sorry about that. I had a little disturbance I had to go take care of.
Wonderful.
Yay!
So yeah, callbacks are nice in the show. It's when the analysts catch up and they remember Generation 3 or 1 or 2.
There are some ponies that are originally from the original show, or are taken from the show and redesigned.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren Foss made Rainbow Dash like one of her favorite ponies. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was called Firefly or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she inspired Rarity after the design of one pony and the attitude of another. I don't remember what it was exactly.
Right.
So it is interesting to see that.
I mean, in Too Many Pinkie Pies, we actually got a call back to a season, Generation 3 Pinkie Pie.
Right. Now, Tirek is from Generation 1. He is from an original episode, from the original show. It was a pilot episode, and it was like Rescue at Midnight Castle or something.
Mm-hmm.
And his design then, his face was too chunky, if you ask me. It was like too blocky. You know the 80s design.
Yeah.
It was very block design.
It was very Minecraft.
Not Minecraft blocky. That's different. That's a different scale of blocky, but it's like, I want to say Tetris.
Tetris blocky? Oh, that's bad.
Yes. And I saw a clip of it, and I'm just like, WTF.
I mean, Tetris is popular, but if your animation's that bad, oh my god.
Right, and it's very rigid. And he approaches you, and you just see this. The rest of his body is fine. His muscles are a little overdeveloped, but his face, it just doesn't match.
It's like, where did you come from?
He's a centaur.
Right.
But that's not what a centaur should look like.
Right. And I know some of the analysts that I've listened to are like, oh cool, Generation 1 villain come back type thing. And then they're like, where was he in the last 3 generations? In Tartarus.
Yeah. We don't know how he was defeated or sent into Tartarus. And actually, I think the first original My Little Pony is canon with the new My Little Pony.
Mm-hmm.
Because they mention a princess. And this could be during a time during Luna's banishment. They never see a princess, but they mention one.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be canon.
Right.
So Luna's banishment could have been that period of time with the Generation 1, 2, and 3. Now we have the new stuff, and it's possibly post the original My Little Pony.
Right. But thinner bodies, better quality.
I want to say it's like they evolved better.
Mm-hmm. Cause
they tried to make him too horse-like originally,
mm-hmm.
which in the toys was okay. I mean, I would have liked seeing that in the toys today,
mm-hmm.
but in the show, you need to have a little more human-like quality to them.
Right. When Generation 4 came out, I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm like, oh great, another 80s show that's coming back and being renewed. This will flop type attitude. And as the show got more popular and more of the kids started showing that they liked it, I'm like, well, maybe I should check this out. And I started watching the episodes, and for me, I think it took me a while getting used to the show. And I mean, yeah, there are problems with it. Every show has problems. Nothing's perfect. It's just...
Right.
When I lost my 2 cats, which I were very, very close to, the show kind of helped me feel better that
You
are alright.
are in big trouble, miss.
One moment.
Oh boy. What up?
What up? I had to do the dishes because you kept talking to all your buds. Get the fuck off and get to bed.
Alright. Ay, caramba. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah. Gotta wrap this up.
jeez.
Yeah, that might have... Yeah. I'm not gonna have a good day with him tomorrow.
That was...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so last season 5 spoiler that I have to give you. I absolutely have to tell this one.
Go ahead.
Nightmare Moon is coming back. On the good side. I'm not sure how she's going to come back. They haven't really revealed much. The show is supposed to restart next year in 2015, but Nightmare Moon is making a comeback. This time on the good side, it's supposed to help Luna and all that
Mm-hmm.
fight this, whatever the evil being is going to be.
Who knows? They've been making hints all season.
So when they do, that means we're going to see into Luna's psyche, which we don't get to see very often. We just get to hear her go, you know, I, or I'm just standing here. Oh, anyway, we should wrap this up. I am Draco the Dragon. Well, check me out on YouTube, and I'm also StellaFox26 on DeviantArt. Check out my artwork. Peace!
See you later. Alright, everybody. My name is Liberate1993, and I also have a DeviantArt. I'm not on it very often, but when I am, it's Studio L 1993. Check it out. And a big thanks to Draco the Dragon for helping out. Talk to y'all later. Bye.